Greetings. This is Arvette McLean with Speak, The Universe Listens. New ways to view age-old challenges. Change your thoughts, change your life. Step into the bigness of you.
I remember like a couple of weeks ago, I think it was the I Decide episode, and you were telling us a story about when you made a decision on your health. And so I thought that would be a great topic to talk about. So if you can, I guess, kind of open with that story.
Yeah, I would love to. So it's funny, I actually still remember the day very vividly. I was around 13 years old, not even around, I was 13 years old. And I was, around this time, my medical conditions were, I was allergic to everything. So I was going to get like allergy tests like every week. They were giving me like shots to try and help build my immune system so that way I can be around these different things. And so these like doctor's appointments used to be in Columbus, Ohio. And so I remember me and my mom were getting set to go to Columbus, and it was like a weekend. I was like, I don't want to go. And so her response was, well, what do you mean you don't want to go? I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. Now, I knew exactly what I was saying at the time, and I guess looking back, it's nice to know that my mom was able to hear me and understand exactly what I was saying in the moment too. But when I was saying I don't want to go, I wasn't saying I don't want to go to the doctor. I was saying I don't want to, this whole sick thing, this is it. This is it right here. And so for me, when we were speaking about I Decided, I was thinking about how we can also make those decisions even with our health. And sometimes it's always thought of like as our health is something that affects us and not we affect what's going on in our health. But for me, I thought that was a very direct example of my thinking directly changed like how I was feeling, because shortly after that, like the allergy things weren't a concern anymore. Like now I just had like what was considered normal allergies. Like half my generation is allergic to peanuts, so I don't feel wild about that. And I feel like I'm probably not even allergic anymore. So it was literally, I decided I don't want to feel this way anymore, and then my body started reacting that way.
That's such a powerful story, because I have a lot of less powerful stories than that, but I have one that just happened, and it kind of blew my mind, because I have like, I don't even know how I want to phrase it. I have had knee issues. And so when I go to the gym and stuff, I normally wear a knee brace and all that. So a knee brace and an ankle brace. And so certain exercises, when I do them, they hurt. And I had just started training for a 10-mile event that I had last week. And so I had a short amount of time to train for it. And so I think I had like 4 weeks to train for the 10-mile event. And so the first week that I trained for it, like the act of me running, it just caused my knee so much problems, just so many problems. And like I'm not gonna say I couldn't walk, but I was like feeling in a lot of pain for at least 2 or 3 days after. And so then I had heard this story. I don't know if y'all familiar with Lisa Nichols.
Mm-hmm.
So Lisa Nichols was telling this story about when she was in high school. She was on the swim team when she was in the 9th grade, and that she always came in dead last. And so she told her grandmother the day before swim meet, she was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to swim anymore. So her grandmother told her this story about how she comes from a generation of winners. And so but basically her grandmother said, winners never quit and quitters never win. So she's just like, okay. So she goes to the swim meet the next day, but she ends up getting there late. So her 9th grade heat had already taken off. Wow. Which meant now she's got to swim with the 10th graders. And so she's just like, oh, coach, please don't make me swim with the 10th graders. I'm going to be dead last. So anyway, the coach was like, you didn't have water. So she swims, and so when they get to the turnaround point, she sees one person pop their head out. And so she was like, oh, like somebody's still out here with me. I'm not last. And so she said, I'm not going to be last. That person's going to be last, right? So she started saying, winners never quit. Quitters never win. Winners never quit. Quitters never win. Winners never quit. Quitters never win. So she's swimming, just chanting that the whole time. Winners never quit. Quitters never win. So she gets to the finish line, and she pops up, and there no other heads pop up. And her coach, she can see her coach screaming at her, and she's just like, "Oh my goodness! Not only am I last, but I'm so far behind that everybody has finished and they've already gotten out of the water." Like she's just freaking out, like, "How in the world did I get this far behind?" And so she was like, as she's sitting there panicking, and her coach is like yelling at her. Eventually she sees a head pop up, and then another head, and she realizes she won the race. And significantly so. And so her coach is like, what did you do? What did you do? You know, and so she was like, basically, you know, she said, I started saying winners never quit, quitters never win. The coach said, well, what do you normally say? And she said, I normally say, don't be last, don't be last, don't be last. And so that really, like that whole conversation, what I realized is she changed her focus. You know, like, you know, our focus is on exactly what we don't want. So she's saying don't be last. So that's what she's basically creating, this situation of being last. And so, but she changed her focus. And so I was like thinking about like the workout that I really loved. I used to do this outdoor workout, and I just loved that workout. And I realized that whenever I came off that field, I would always feel like I had a big S on my chest, like Superwoman, you know, and I would feel that all day because I did that workout. That workout was that challenging, but I did it with ease. And so I would always feel like that. And also, one of the things they used to always say, like, I'm not going to compete against you, but I am competitive in the sense of I always want to do better than I did yesterday.
Awesome.
But this workout, they would always say, who's going to win? And if you're on a team, y'all are supposed to say, we are! You know, and if it's just an individual thing, they'll say, who's going to win? You say, I am! And if you don't say it with that conviction, he'll say, who's going to win? And so I know this is a long story to say that. So I was thinking about all of that stuff and like, where's your focus, et cetera, et cetera. And so I decided when I go into the gym, so I remove my braces and stuff instead of me thinking, oh, I don't want to get hurt. I don't want my knee to hurt. I was like, I'm going to line my energy up with being a winner. And so I want every cell in my body to vibrate on the I'm a winner. Not I don't want to be hurt. And so I did that. So that was like a Thursday when I was like, I'm going to line everything up like I'm a winner. And so on Fridays is the day that I would do my training run, in which case, since I was going to be running, then my knees should have been hurting. So anyway, Friday comes and I'm like, I'm a winner. And I go out there and run, no problem. Following week, no problem. Following week, no problem. And so every day I'll say, hey cells, you're winners. Line yourself up with the energy of winning. And yeah.
See, I love that.
To a lesser degree, I remember I used to travel to Vegas, and I used to always like, every time I go to Vegas in October, I get sick. And every time I went, I got sick. So I just started, and like you said about the focus is so key, because I got to the point where I was focusing on not being sick. And I would get sick because that's what my focus was. And then when I switched it, not thought about being sick, and just thought about having a good time and feeling good on the trip, that changed things for me. And then, I feel like after I used that with that trip, with taking trips, it kind of just worked in my everyday life. Like, I don't think about getting sick. No part, never. And I don't feel like I've been sick in a long time.
Mm-hmm. Like, for me, I'm trying to think of a healthy choice. I think the only thing I can possibly think of just for me is I don't really get sick. But when I do get sick, my mind is automatically on, okay, I'm sick. I need some medicine. I need to get myself right. And now it's like, if I feel, a little bit off, I don't tell myself that I'm sick. And so I'm just more going by my regular day, like I normally do. I'm okay. But just thinking about how you tell yourself that you're in pain, or how you tell yourself that you need this, or you're not feeling good, and you're just telling yourself what you're supposed to be feeling, but in actuality you ain't got to be feeling that way. So you putting all of this stuff up on you. So for me, I just always try to I noticed that I don't really get sick, so I always keep myself in the mind state of I'm healthy, so that's all I think of as far as a healthy choice for me.
But see, I like that too, and this topic is so interesting to me too, because what actually helps me flip my thinking on health a lot of times are people around me. And I told this story a couple times lightheartedly, but I remember it was actually the year, rough little period, I guess. It was the year right after the whole allergy thing. I remember I got knee surgery, and when they did knee surgery, they put me in a cast or whatever, put me in a wheelchair. I remember the doctor was like, yeah, you probably won't be able to play sports again, and walking will probably take you a long time. And so I got home, I'm in this little wheelchair, cast up from my thighs on down. I called my brother, Rodney, of course, because it's cousin best friend Rodney. So I called him, get on the phone, in 2 seconds, I go, man, they said I'm gonna be in a wheelchair. I'm boo-hooing. It got quiet. And then we both just laughed. And I think that for me symbolized that, man, no you're not.
Yeah, that's exactly what the laugh was.
It was all right, man, relax. This is wild, but you're gonna be all right. And so for me, the people definitely help make those choices for you, because I think I'm just so thankful for you. Actually, I want to tell you that again. A great thing for you, great. Appreciate you, because I think if I was left in that space alone at that age, I don't think I knew how to flip my thinking yet. So I would have actually thought, oh, you ain't playing sports again. It's gonna be a little while. You gonna be in a wheelchair. But I had somebody in my corner that immediately knew the same thing as me. It's like, no, you're not.
Right.
And so so if you're ever having a hard time making those health choices, or deciding that you aren't sick, or that you do feel just fine, and your body is working perfectly in every way that you need it to, just look around to the people around you as well, because they definitely help.
Well, you actually helped me, because I'm the person, I will research every single thing, right? And so all of my life I always say, I ain't never having no surgery. I ain't having no surgery, ain't nobody gonna operate on me. Or whatever. And I typically don't do medication, just pretty much I've always been really healthy as well. I pretty much don't get sick. But I was always like that. And so if I've ever had to take medicine for anything, or if I was given a prescription for something, I would look at okay, what's the side effects? And then I'm monitoring. Most of the times if the side effects is more than nausea, I'm not gonna take the medicine anyway, or whatever. And I'm monitoring for side effects and so forth and so on. And if somebody say, oh, they having surgery on whatever, and then I'll look it up and I'll be like, okay, this surgery is 76% of the time it's gonna be perfectly fine, but it's 24% of the time, it might not work, so I'm all into that. So when I was having to have surgery, Teron said, you said something to me to the effect of, I've never been concerned about surgery. He was like, I just basically I let the doctors do what they do, and I just know I'm gonna be fine. And so that little sentence that he said, it made me not do any research, not be concerned about if it could go right or what could possibly go wrong, etc. I went in there perfectly, like, you know, with the idea of there's nothing on the outside of me that can harm me, and my body knows what to do. So whatever should happen, my body knows how to handle it, and my body can heal it. And so I went in with no trepidation, no nothing. I kept saying, I didn't, you know, I didn't even care like the details that I would normally tend to. I was like, you know what, I'm going here. The doctor gonna do what the doctor do. It's gonna be a lovely experience, and you know, my body's gonna heal, and all is gonna be good. So thank you.
Oh, no problem. You're welcome. I'm glad you got that.
Nice.
But I know one time, I know I've shared this story before, but I was doing a 100-mile bike event, and I typically ride at a certain pace, but on this particular event, I was riding off fast. I mean, I was riding, right? So by the time I got to like mile 49, I was tired. Like my legs were so like, okay, we done.
It felt like noodles.
Yeah, we done. I don't know what you were thinking, but yeah, we not going any further. And so I was just so mad. I was mad at myself. I was like, you trained for this event, and then you're going to go out and try to be Superwoman. And, you know, so I'm like really beating myself up. Like, you know, why would you do something like that? And so forth and so on. And so the next, like I had an opportunity to end the race. Like, I think, I'm just make up the numbers now because I can't remember, but maybe one race might have been 60 miles, and then my race was 100, right? So I had the option of getting off at the 60-mile thing. And so I was like, now I'm gonna have to quit at 60 miles. And I was just so mad and upset. Like, why did you spend all summer training and then you can't even do the event, and, you know, blah, blah, blah. And so I don't know, somewhere along the way, it clicked in my head, and I was like, no, I tell my body what to do, right? And so I started telling my body, you know, you're strong, you know, your legs are strong and powerful, you're strong and powerful. This, you know, basically you don't have no limits, you know.
Right.
And so I started saying, pedal. And I was like really screaming out loud. I was just like, pedal! I started pedaling, and next thing you know, I had passed mile 60 and I was gone. I was back in the game. But I know it was me talking to my body. And so for a while, like ever since then, I would say, I tell my body what to do. I tell my body what to do, which is true. We do tell our bodies what to do. But we're often giving it a message to just go haywire. Because I know, like, anytime, like, there's a certain, it's things that we believe in that society says. So we believe that if we eat like this, that's going to harm our bodies. We believe if, you know, we inhale exhaust, you know, that's going to be harmful. We believe that if we had negative interactions, you know, there's certain things we believe.
Right.
And so, particularly in my case, it's the food thing. And I'm like, oh, no, I ate this, I ate that. Oh, I'm going to get so fat. And, you know, so I believe that, you know. And so if I'm believing that and I'm eating that and I'm believing that and I'm eating that, then I'm telling my body, gonna get fat. You know, so we're telling our bodies what to do every day when we're giving that message to ourselves every day.
Yeah, I do. You made me think too, like about yesterday when I twisted my ankle, and then the day after, I'm just sitting back and I thought about it, right, and I was like, hold on, stop thinking about what you wanted. Stop thinking about the pain. Stop putting the focus on the negative, and just switch it to like your ankle is fine. And then, like I said, the more I started to walk throughout the day, I forgot all about it. And then when I actually realized, like, dang, I feel better. Like I'm actually walking, normal again. I'm like, dang. So it just made me think like how powerful our minds are, and what we tell ourselves. I was like, check me out.
But the other thing that I've been experimenting with is releasing the need to tell my body what to do. Because I was like, we probably got about 1 trillion cells in our body. We don't know what that stuff do. We don't know what the different hormones. It's so many things about our body. We just have no idea. We science doesn't know yet how this happens. But yet I'm trying to tell it. I'm trying to regulate it. Like, if you eat this is going to be a problem. If you do this is going to be a problem. If you do that, And I'm saying, why am I telling it? It knows what to, it's keeping me living. It's doing all kinds of things I never have to think about it doing. So why do I think I have to tell it certain things? And so I was like, I'm going to stop telling it, these things. And I'm going to just tell it, you got this. As people say, you got this. And so I feel like I'm stopping the process of micromanaging my body. And I'm stopping saying, if I do this is a problem. If I do this is a problem. Instead of me saying those things, I'm saying, I know you know what to do. Work your magic.
I like that.
Me too.
So it's almost like, when I think about it, it's like just, for me, I always try to force an outcome, instead of me trying to force something to happen the way I envision it happening. It's like, just flow. Don't try to just let it be, and it's gonna play out.
So thank y'all for joining in this conversation, you guys, about healthy choices, because I definitely do feel that when we decide what our body feels, our body responds to it as well. And I really love what you just ended with. So could you actually repeat that again about the body? I don't need to tell it, because I take that.
Yeah, so let's see if I can say it again. So basically, I'm starting off with the idea that I have 1 trillion cells. Everything communicates with itself in this body, and it takes care of itself. It's doing so many different processes. I don't know what those things are, and it's running things. And so why am I telling it how to run things? It's like me coming in on your job, telling you how to fix the AC. I don't know how to fix the AC. So I'm just in your way. So I'm saying, I feel like perhaps with me trying to micromanage my body, I'm in its way. And so I'm just removing myself from that and telling my body, you got this. I'm just going to keep lining myself up, lining my cells up with the energy of love, excitement, expectation, joy, and just let it flow, as Stephen was saying. Just let it flow.
Thank you.
So thank y'all for joining us this week. And we really look forward to talking to you again next week. And so until then, this is Arvette.
And this is Steve.
Jerome.
Rodney.